Good afternoon, beautiful ones. Happy Sunday to us all, wherever we might be watching at this very moment. Give me much pleasure and so great gratitude to connect with you again uh, this beautiful Sunday, the 26th. I can't imagine it. This 26th day of this month. Wow. And for everyone that is able to come on live and to those that will watch the replay, I just want to say a big thank you to every one of you that has been able to join the broadcast one time or the other. It's not been funny, 26 days live, but all well and good. It has been a very wonderful experience that I don't I don't want to lose the touch. I don't want to take for granted because for me personally, I have grown. And I believe that that is the same experience for those of you that also join at one point or the other. I just want to quickly make the notification go around, and I believe that we should be able to just rightly kick off now. I just want you to say hi and just kind of welcome anyone that you know that is also available at this moment. I want you to just straight an opportunity to just invite and say hello um, to everyone. I will be so grateful if you can just do that. I'll be very grateful if you can do that. So let's just start. I don't want to keep us waiting. Yeah. And this is so today's topic, like I announced yesterday, is self orientation. You know, when I was studying for this topic, it was kind of controversial. And when you just imagine self-orientation, so many meaning and so many bias and so many definitions either to that I was able to go, that I was able to see. But I decided that I'm going to do justice and just maintain a balance in between all the options that is available that I've just made up my mind. I'm going to give us the best and the one I know that will really, really give us the idea that I'm trying to portray with regards to self-love month and how every one of us we are trying to work towards. And the reason why I love this topic and I did not want to shy away from it is because many of us, the different definition that we have to any subject or to any, it does not really, really have a way of affecting our understanding about the subject if we know what we really want and if we know why we are going through it. So for me, I was able to see where I can align self-orientation with regards to our definition of self-love month, which has been an emphasis towards all of us becoming the best and becoming more closer to ourselves. And when this subject of self orientation comes to play, the slightest meaning that you can have for what it means is when you focus on self, as in when everything about you primarily is on yourself. And why I want to say this is because if I don't get to this point and to this place where I'm able to focus primarily on myself, there might be many things I will not be aware about myself, and I will be living in denial. So, by way of definition, it means when you focus on self and when someone's primary concern is only with regards to oneself, with one's own desire, with one's own need, with one's own interest, with all one of the definition I even saw that was so fascinating says self-seeking. It says self-loving, self-obsessed, and in fact to capital it says selfish. Selfish, you can imagine, or self-admiration. And I kind of love it to an extent because you will see where I'm going and we'll be able to apply balance and we'll be able to know how we can really, really get to know what it means. For me, any area of our life that we have to today, and anything you can see in your life today that you kind of enjoy or you are proud of, see, there is no how you can get to that place without embarking on a journey of self-discovery. So when you begin to see the need for you to love yourself, to seek more of yourself, to seek more of your own interest, it is just in a bid for you to be able to discover more and more intimacy, more credibility about yourself. Because it is only in when you are able to do this for yourself, that is the only time you are able to extend it to others. I want you to look at it, and I don't want you to get me wrong on this subject. I want you to look at it very well. Because I put a poster there, I said, is it right to be selfish? When you are self-oriented, a self-oriented person, is a person actually selfish? And is it even okay to be selfish at times? And what kind of attitude or what kind of outlook do we give to that word, such that we can use it to the best of our own understanding? When I look at that subject, the way I see it is, if you have ever at one time or the other you have flew any airline or through any plane or through any journey you have made in the past in any country, you will discover that one of the instruction they give you is that in case of emergency and you need to either use your, excuse me, you need to use the oxygen, or you have to a life-saving situation, you have to first take care of yourself. Even if you are there with your children, you are there with your family, you are there with your husband, you are there with your child, you will first and foremost first fix yourself, deliver yourself first, rescue yourself first. It is after you have rescued yourself that you can now think about rescuing the next person beside you. And so you will imagine, why will that be? That is the concept, and that is the idea and the aspect I want you to approach this subject I am giving us today. Because what I have discovered is that when we tend to focus on others, and with time with regards to looking for how we can solve other people's problem, a lot of time we are not doing ourselves a great deal of good. A lot of times some of us even go to the extent of pleasing others more than pleasing ourselves. And this is it is not in any way instrumental to our growth on our journey to becoming a holistic person. So one of the things I'm going to say that I want you to resonate with us is that it is okay to be self-oriented. It is okay to seek yourself for your self-interest. It is okay to be self-loving. It is okay to be self-admiring. To just love on yourself. And I want to see how we can balance this at the long run, at the end of this discussion. I will be able to help you see why you are not totally doing bad if you are self-oriented. Because anybody that has self-orientation, first and foremost thing is the person have taken it as a point of duty to focus on herself, on himself. And in that beaming the light on yourself, you are able to see in the inside of you, and you are able to tell yourself the truth. And then when you look at certain things about your life that is not working, you are not going to blame others. You are going to seek inside, and you look at why certain things is not working is because you are not doing certain things right, or because you have failed to accept responsibilities on certain regard, or because you did not measure up on what you are expected to do on that particular subject. That is why you are in that state, and you are not going to look outside. A self-oriented person is going to first focus on itself and see the need why he or she must particularly seek to how you can solve your problem, and get a focus and get an idea about what you are going through before going to look for somebody out there to blame. So I want to see it as a way of us helping ourselves to grow, a way of us loving on ourselves and not just dwelling there. If you see somebody that is self-oriented, that person will first and foremost dwell on his own thought, his own feeling, his own emotion. He does not play with it lightly. He does not assume that somebody else's emotion or somebody's else reason for whatever is happening, you want to judge it on them. But you first want come and seek, okay, why is this thing happening? What did I do wrong? Why? And in that place of you thinking, in that place of you assessing what is happening, you are able to make judicious thoughts. You are make understanding, critical thinking that will produce right understanding for you to know what you're able to do. Do you know that I want to make a balance, like I said, between what we refer to as emotional intelligence today. It is just like you looking at how you are able to balance self orientation with others orientation. And let me just, by way of definition, quickly go through other orientation. So when you see self orientation and other orientation, what that other orientation is trying to do is when you are focusing on other people, you are not focusing on yourself. And so self other orientation is when you are able to maintain a balance between self and other. That equilibrium, that is the perspective of what it means to have emotional intelligence. You are able to maintain a balance and see where you go wrong, where in the whole equilibrium, where in the whole equation you are able to see where you goof, and where in the equilibrium you are able to see where others are responsible for. You look at it in an organization setting like in our office environment, and there is a teamwork either to launch a product or either to get an assignment done or to get a project done, and somewhere along the line something went wrong and the project was not able to land, or the project desired end was not articulated. And in that state, you can now imagine when you now begin to blame somebody and you now begin to look for who is responsible for what, why the project failed, why the project did not get the desired result you have enumerated, and stuff and stuff and stuff. And you see, when you are self-focused, you will be able to quickly admit where in the whole equation you did something wrong, and where in the whole equation you are actually at fault, and you are really really seeking to remediate that action. But when you don't have self-orientation, you will look of how you can absolve yourself of all the blame of why the whole project failed, and why it is other. It is because of that manager that did not approve that fund. It is because of that graphic designer that is not submitting the proposal on time. It is because of this department that failed to, you will now begin to see how and why certain things did not go the way it's supposed to go. And I don't want you to see yourself playing this blame game in the journey of life. That at any point in any area of your life, when something goes wrong, the first thing to do is look inward. Focus on yourself. When you focus on yourself, you're able to look for where the fault is. You are not going to be looking at somebody outside who you are going to be blaming for that inactivity, for that inaction, for that thing that went wrong. So once you're able to see that line and you're able to stay within that place, it will help you to be able to know how you are able to balance the perspective and see what you can do respectively in order to correct and make a way out of that mistake such that it is not repeated the next time. And one of the ways that I want to explain this thing further for us is that self and other orientation is needed in our day-to-day life. That as good as it is to be self-oriented, it is also good to be other oriented, because this is the only way we can maintain a balanced perspective throughout our life events and life happenings, so that we don't have a loop-sided outlook about when things happen. So we are not just going to be blaming others, or we are only going to be blaming ourselves. We're able to come to a place where we're able to sit down and critically think, do critical thinking, to be able to really, really know what went wrong and where the thing went wrong and how not to repeat that mistake again. And I want to help us further by saying that when you are going through any difficulty or any challenges or any task, and you are unable to see what went wrong or why things did not go as planned, I want you to make it as a point of view to begin to learn the kind of pattern. Are you a self-oriented person, or you are others oriented? That anytime certain things happen, you are seeing some people, you just see them, once something happen, they are just already looking and have how to figure out who to blame for every predicament. They are never going to own up to anything. And this is not a good habit. This is not a good aspect or way that we're supposed to embrace life. That when things go wrong, we must be able to come to time and see where we actually did wrong and where we ourselves did not really do what is expected of us. And when we are able to see these areas, it will help us to plan better, to make better choices, and to do more of those things that will help us correct the wrongs and the mistake that we have made. This is more or less what I have been able to see, because when I look at it, some of the dictionary definition was just kind of giving an attitude of somebody that is selfish, that is only seeking for herself. But when you do this well, through emotional balance, emotional intelligence, you will see that when you are self-oriented, you get the orientation right, you know who to blame and where to apportion the blame, and how not to just judge yourself harshly, but to know how you can do it better. And when you have been able to self-orientate yourself, you have been able to self-seek, you have been able to self-love, you have been able to self-admire and do things just to get the focus on yourself, to becoming a better person, you are able to give a better orientation to others. This is the balance, friends. It is only in you getting the perspective right within your own self that will give you the right platform and the right launching path to be able to self orient others, to be able to orientate others, to give orientation to others. I want you to look at it as when we first get to school, or the first day at school, or our first day in college, or our first day in any organization, or any, you will go through orientation. You will go through certain things that you're expected to know to do and how you do it, and that is it. And based on in line with that orientation, you begin to fall and marry yourself and go through that path. So when you go through self-orientation, it is you positioning yourself in such a way that you are able to focus more on yourself, to desire to deliver certain results, to deliver certain outcome. And when you're able to do that well, you will be able to do what? Give orientation to others. So I want to encourage us in everything we do, never to just be other people oriented, by just looking for who to blame, by just not looking inward. So look inward, process the thoughts, process your feeling, process the emotion that you are going through that period of time that certain thing happened. Process the thoughts, process the environment, process everything that is going on within you at that particular time. You are able to discover more, you're able to see, and because you're able to see, you'll be able to make the right judgment. And the right judgment will give you the right steps and the right solution that you need to meet to that challenge, to that task, so that you can get a better result out of it. I hope this thing resonates. I hope I'm able to get you in a place of thinking and understanding and perspective that makes you feel better and feel clear about this subject of self-orientation, that you and I need first and foremost self-orientation with regards to our outlook in life, with regards to us making our life better, to seek our interest to make our life better, to make our life a masterpiece. And it is only when we get that done perfectly well that we can beam our orientation to others, and now being able to assist and get them to do what we have been able to achieve rightly. So I want to say, save yourself first before you save others. Focus the beam on yourself first. Approve yourself for doing the right thing, and when you do the wrong thing, look at how you can correct it without looking for others to blame for it. If you have been at one point or the other being a victim of this explanation, that you always look for who to blame at every slightest reason when things go wrong. Today, I want you to take up the challenge and tell yourself that rather than blaming others for my circumstances, for challenges, for difficulties, or for anything that goes wrong, I will first self orientate. I will beep the light within myself. I will focus on myself, and I will, with regards to the knowledge I've gotten today, see where I went wrong and make right and rate make the necessary correction. This is it, friends. I'm not going to take our time further. This is where I'm going to be stopping. I hope you were able to find one or two things that is of value in what I've shared this afternoon. And I believe if anything just resonates with you, I want you to put in the comment. If you get to watch this on a replay, I appreciate your time. And I promise you that tomorrow is day 27. And I want to just say that we'll be having 3 days left. And I want to say also that if you have at one time or the other missed any of this session, please go back and watch it. I tell you, the more on this journey you embark, the more rally round and profile solution that will get you out of that place. Thank you very much. Tomorrow is titled self transformation. So, tomorrow's topic is self transformation. I look forward to seeing us becoming the best and the best and the best of the version that we have been called to be. Thank you, everyone that's able to watch and tune in. And thank you so much. I have a wonderful night rest and I wish us a prosperous and a wonderful week. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Ma. I appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone here on YouTube. Oh, so very much appreciated. See you tomorrow. And from here, I want to say thank you very much and bye. See you tomorrow.